Everybody, this is Dave Nasty over here at Next Level Guitar, and today we are inspired by Mr. David Gilmour. Let's talk about the scales that we're going to use and abuse, I should say, today to achieve this sound for Mr. David Gilmour. And I should say, I'm going to cover a couple of them, but you know, if you're unfamiliar with any of these, please check along with the coinciding ebook that comes with the DVD. It's got all the scales and diagrams you need. So as we just addressed a couple, don't feel like any of them are left out. You got all the information that you need right there, and you can refer to that and check back in with this DVD, and you'll be right on the money. So that's a way to go. Here's the first scale shape that we're going to go ahead and use. E minor pentatonic based off of our 12th position. Okay, so the second scale that we're going to use is not a pentatonic scale. We're going to go ahead and use our natural minor scale, and we're going to do what is referred to as a nice cage system of it, and it looks just like this. So the way that we're going to approach this today is we're going to look at color and effect with the use of the pentatonic scale as being our base structure. So what I mean by that is we're going to use the pentatonic scale as a way to provide our skeletal format of our really great licks that we're going to go into here in a moment. We're going to use some of these extra notes that come from this minor scale, particularly the one that you get on the 11th fret, this F sharp, this one that we get on 13, and this one that we get on 14 here. So we're going to address these notes. Because as we play our licks, these notes are going to provide with us different textures and sounds that is really, really important. Because, you know, I really think it's important to address this style by thinking really strictly of tone and not so much being an overtly crazy technician. So let's talk about some licks that we could use and apply this kind of idea. The first thing that I want to do is we're going to be really smooth and subtle. I've got my guitar, so you know, I've got it pretty much at about 7 or 8 here on my volume, so it's a little bit lower in volume, and we're going to go for this lick. Really, really easy. And I've got my first finger flat, and I'm just going to pull off. And that's how we're going to start off with that. Now, when I end, I'm going to use a little bit of the tremolo bar for a really smooth vibrato. We're going to use the tremolo bar now, and we're going to see how that changes the effect of it, and we're going to be really subtle. Now keep in mind we're going to go into a whole portion of how to use this guy to our advantage, but right now, just so you hear it, we're going to take that lick and listen to the difference between that and my finger. It's a bit harsher when I end with my finger. That lick can be followed with one of those really colorful sounds that comes from that minor scale, and this is my F sharp. So what is my lick? Very simply. And that's a nice sounding lick. It's got a good texture to it. I'm bending this up a half step to be my G note. So that's something that you could practice right there. Just the simple and the smoothness that can come out of a lick like that. So that's how we're going to finish that lick. So let's play that slowly. Sounding phrase right there. We had a really simple. Notice I hit that string one time, I bend up to the pitch, I let it fall, and I come back in. Really, really important that all of our bends go to pitch, and this is nice and slow so it doesn't hurt us to do so. Now within there we have, and that is something that's going to reoccur quite a bit, this little, because taking us into the second lick, the rhythm of that is really, really nice, and we're going to use a little bit of to round it out. So let's take a look at what that was. Really slowly. I've got a classic little approach or lick there where I've got my first finger flat. So if you notice, I hit a note as like a pickup note, and then I do the pull off. And that in itself is a good dynamic effect within the lick. So if you mix those two licks together, kind of a classic sound there. I'm going to kick on my delay. Haven't put that into the mix yet. It would sound like this. Now I varied that just ever so slightly, but you can see I'm kind of getting into it myself and improvising a little bit on you, but I'll make sure that we talk about that. Within this, we could always lay our finger flat and get that kind of nice play that happens on 14. And I did that coming out of here. A lot of really nice sounds in there. We've done a couple of variations. Let's take a look at them. Was the first one. Then, on my own little case there, I improvised on you. And we can resolve it that way. So you see just the subtle difference of and. Now, we can take some really nice sounds off of this. What if we threw that in and we put that in there? We've heard some of these sounds before. That's a nice phrase all into itself. I'm going to play that slowly for you so you can follow along with the tabs. All classic sounding licks. Now I'm going to show one other form of the pentatonic.